Hello to all you pirates out there, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Bandit Banks, and today I am bringing you a Sea Dogs Mega Guide, or more commonly known as an Arena Mega Guide. Today we're going to be going over everything that has to do with Arena. Whether you're here because you just got your ass whooped in adventure mode and you want to improve your PvP skills, you're a completionist and the arena is something you haven't done yet, you want to get all those commendations, or you're just bloodthirsty and you want to kill some people. This guide is for you to take you through everything you need to know about the arena, tips and tricks, all that. Also going to be talking about arena etiquette at the start of this video, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about there, you will definitely want to stick around for that part. Now, I have tried to shrink this video down as small as possible while still getting all of the essential information in there. If you do like the video, please drop it a like. I would, severely appreciate it, as this video did take quite a while to compile. And if you have any questions or things that I may have missed that you are curious about, please drop those questions down below in the comments. Anyways, I've rambled on for long enough. You're not here for this. So let's hop straight in to this video. In this first section, I will be talking to you about arena etiquette. In other words, kind of like the unwritten rules of arena that you really should follow to prevent yourself from getting spawn camped and messaged and all this stuff. And to understand where these rules come from, you have to understand the state arena is in right now in 2021. There are 5 different types of crews I should say, that you will run into in the arena mode on your adventures to commendations, improving your PvP, all that. But for the arena etiquette section, you only need to focus on one of them, and that is the TDMers. The main way to recognize who TDMers are is by the spam you see here in chat in the top right. They'll say something along the lines of TDM on the island, come TDM, all that. They'll just be spamming this, and other people may say aye or agree with it. And when you get into the arena lobby, you'll see all the ships that want a TDM go to a fort. It's usually a fort, sometimes it's a small island, but they'll go and they'll park their ships around said fort. Their entire purpose for playing arena is they want to go to the fort and just kill each other over and over to improve their close quarters PvP skills. They do not care who wins. They're not going to go attack your ship. So for the arena etiquette section, just remember this one rule: do not go over there and fuck with them. Don't go over there and shoot their ships. Don't do any of that. You can go join the TDM if you want, but do not attack their ships. Do not ruin their spawn points. This is the equivalent of going to a boxing gym and slashing the best fighter in the gym's tires, right? You may be able to run away, but when they catch up to you, they are going to whoop your ass. They're going to spawn camp you, they're going to send you messages, they're going to make your arena experience hell. It is not worth it. Again, they don't care about who wins or loses, they're not chasing that, they're just working on their PvPing skills, so just generally leave them alone. And that is really the main rule when it comes to arena. At least my main piece of arena etiquette to you is just don't mess with the TDMers. Now, I'm not personally a TDMer, but it's just not worth messing with them, and it's kind of something that players learn to do. And the people who make the mistake of messing with them usually have to learn the hard way, so that's what I'm trying to save you from here, is learning that experience the hard way. And now that we've got the main rule that's going to save you a lot of pain and torment in arena out of the way, let's move right into what you're probably here for, the strategy section and how to win arena games. So welcome to the strategy section of this arena guide. We're going to be going over the best possible way to win on both a sloop and a galleon. So to start out, we're going to need to go over the 5 types of crews you will run into in the arena. As mentioned in the section before, you'll run into TDMers. The next type is the open crew, is how I define them. They're really not open crew usually, but they play like an open crew. A lot of you, if this is your first time in arena, you'll start out at this level. Then there's your average players. This will be the majority of the people you can run into will be average players. People doing what you're doing, trying to get those commendations, trying to work on their skills. Decent crew, knows how to put up a fight, but not incredible. Then there's the super sweats. These are really good players, whether they're good at adventure and those skills carry over, or whether they're arena mains. You should be able to tell the difference. A lot of the really good arena players actually play in pro leagues, such as the NAL or Sea of Champs, so they know what they're doing, and these are going to be very tough games to win against them. And the last type of player you will run into is the chest runner. These are players who play the arena, they just want to win, they'll pick up the chest and just run with it. A popular short-term slang word, you could say, for these players is wimp, right? Because I feel like that really encompasses their playstyle in a PvP-oriented game mode. Now, when sailing sloops, you'll run into all 5 of these playstyles. However, when sailing galleons, you'll usually only run into the noobs, the average players, and the super sweats. You won't run into as many TDMers or chest runners in the galleon arena mode, or any really. The only TDMers you'll run into is like set lobbies. So now that you understand your opponents and what you're going up against, let's talk strategy, starting with the sloop arena mode. And I won't lie, this is the one I am far more comfortable with than Galleon. For Sloop Strategy, the objective is obviously to get as many points as possible, and the best 2 ways to earn points are through cannon shots and turning the chest. So at the start of every game, the strategy is always the same. Raise anchor, then drop sails, then grab supplies. Make sure your entire crew's stocked up. Whichever side has a closer ship, left or right, if it's the left coming in at you or the right coming in at you, or if they're about equal, either way, just start taking long shots, pot shots. You probably only hit a few of these, but it's a good way to rack up some early points and improve your cannoning capabilities, especially at long range. Once you start closing in on the island, you have to evaluate your situation. The general strategy that we use and that I'm going to teach you is get the chest on board if at all possible. You want to be the one to control the chest, because if you control the chest, you control the pace of the game. If you have the chest or are able to steal the chest from another ship who manages to get it first, this eliminates A, the chest runners, because you control the chest, they can't. A new one's not going to spawn until you turn that one in. And people tend to flock towards the chest, so they'll be coming at you like full guns blazing, and you'll be able to position yourself better in order to give yourself the upper hand in all naval fights that are about to come. So if you do manage to get the chest on board again, you control the game. Don't turn it in, at least not right away. Have that as a last resort if you're down by, 500 points in the last minute. Maybe that's time for a turn in, because 1,000 points when you turn it in. But other than that, just use it to draw people into you, get points, get out. No one else is going to be gaining those 1,000 points. They have to get it through fighting other ships. They'll probably flock towards the sell point. And if they do this, I would recommend playing some mind games, maybe sailing close by the sell point. People will shoot people over to the island to try to cut you off at the sell. And you can use this fact by going straight at the ships that do shoot people over, because you'll have them in a 2v1, which puts you at a distinct advantage to get the upper hand and just gain more points. Again, it's all about points. Again, the more you play Arena, like I can talk for a while about this, but the more you actually play, the more you get involved, the better it's going to turn out for you, and the more you'll learn these strategies off by heart, and you'll just know what you have to do, when you have to do it, to gain the maximum amount of points and come out on top. So if you do manage to get the chest and control the pace of the game, you're in a really good position to win. Now, say someone else gets the chest, and maybe they turn it in. They're up by 1,000 points. Your new objective is to target them. Get over to them, board them, do what you gotta do, get them anchored, and you want to get into a death spiral around them. Now, this is known as farming someone in the arena. Is when you're in a death circle and you are just pounding them with cannons, they can't shoot back, and you are just racking up the points. An important thing to remember if you do get into a death circle, shoot high, aim for the cannon decks, the wheel area, where they might be raising mast. Don't aim for lowers, because the objective in Arena isn't to sink them, it is to get as many points from them as you possibly can. Now if they are a ship that's up by like 2,000 points, maybe go for the sink, because every time you sink you lose 1,000, so it's a good idea then. But if it's just a nobody ship or it's a really close game, just rack up all the points you can get from them before sinking them eventually. So in conclusion, for Sloop Arena, you want to get moving very quickly at the start of the game. The more you do it, the more you practice it, the better it's going to be for you. Head straight for the chest. Try to get that chest on board, if at all possible. You'll probably get into some naval skirmishes on the way. If you can get that chest on board, great. If someone else manages to take it from you or get it, immediately go to cut them off, get their mast down, get them anchored, death circle them, get the chest on you, do what you have to do. Someone turns it in. You want to, again, just the main thing is trying to control the chest, and then the ball's in your court at that point. Once you control the chest, you control all the players, because they're all going to be coming for you, and you know, it's a shooting gallery for you essentially, because they're going to be trying some stupid things to try to get that chest, and you're in a really good position then. So those are all my main tips for Sloop Arena. Again, it is hard to squeeze all this information down into a relatively small time frame, and there's a lot I left out because I just don't want to take up too much time with this video. So if you do have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as humanly possible. And with that, let's move on to the other half of Arena, which is, of course, the Galleon Arena strategy. Now, when it comes to the strategy to win arena games as a Galleon, it's actually a lot simpler than Sloops. It's more required on you having a good team around you, or at least a team you work well with. So that's one of the main tips I'd give for this section. The Sloop too, but the Galleon more so, because with a good team around you, you can do a lot. Because to successfully operate a Galleon and, you know, bring out its full potential, you need 4 people working together as one. Open crews aren't gonna really cut it if you actually are serious about getting good at arena and stuff like that. Now, if you don't have a good crew immediately, or at least right now, you can go over to the community Discord for Sea of Thieves. Link for that will be in the description. Go to the looking for crew section and work your way out. Find some new players to play with, see who you click with, and build yourself a crew. You could also go to my Discord, link in the description. I know there's a few people in there, and I'm trying to build a bit of a community there who are like looking to play arena, so you can check that one out, but I would mainly check out the Sea of Thieves community Discord if you need results a little bit faster. So with that out of the way, now that let's just say you've assembled a crew that you're at least comfortable with, let's go into how you actually win arena Galleon games, especially against good teams. Okay, so the first thing about Galleon strategy, first of all, forget the chest even exists in this game. Alright, the chest is worth 1,000 points, but with 4 cannons on one side, you can crank out 1,000 points in like 30 seconds with a good broadside. So put the chest out of your mind, it's not a part of the game anymore. Now, when it comes to tips that I can give you to really improve, it's hard to do on a Galleon because it's something you really have to do over and over and over again to wrap your head around. The main 2 things that need to be worked on is A, your cannon shots. None of them should be aimed for lowers now. Every cannon shot you shoot should be aimed for the top deck of that Galleon, right at their cannon line. This is to prevent them from shooting back at you, and to prevent you from getting damage, dying, all that. And it'll also, if you're aiming up around there, it'll take down their mast by itself. You might kill players, it's going to cause panic, and it's not going to give them lowers, so they won't sink, so you can get as many points on them as you want. So good cannon shots aimed at their cannon deck is one of the main things you need to work on. Another main thing you need to work on is mainly for the driver, is just getting into favorable positions where you can shoot first, because if you can shoot first and get them off cannons, they can't shoot back. And then it's about racking up points. So to summarize the Galleon Arena, the main things are get a good crew, stay consistent, and practice. You can say that about everything to do with Sea of Thieves, but especially in Galleon Arena, because there's not a lot of thought that goes into it. It's more just who hits more cannon shots. The more your driver practices, the more good positions you'll get in. The more cannon shots you take, the more accurate you'll get. You know, you'll learn when to use your blunder bombs, you know, chain shots, all that. You learn how to rack points. So I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in the Galleon Arena, but just a basic overview is aim for the top deck, consistently play with the same crew, and always try to be in a better firing position. Again, the more you play, the better you'll get at it. So now, let's move on to the Commendations section of this mega guide, which I'm sure is what a lot of you are here for. So for this Commendations section, I'm going to be breaking it down into different categories of commendations and my tips for all of the commendations that require tips. I'm going to mention them all and give general advice for them all as well. The first of these categories is going to be the weapons commendations, for which there are 9 total. These commendations are sharpshooting Sea Dog, skilled sharpshooting Sea Dog, swashbuckling Sea Dog, skilled swashbuckling Sea Dog, Deadeye Sea Dog, skilled Deadeye Sea Dog, high caliber Sea Dog, skilled high caliber Sea Dog, and the Master of Arms commendations. So when it comes to the Master of Arms commendation, don't really focus on it. You'll get it on your way to getting these other 8 commendations. My tips for these weapon commendations are as follows. First of all, when you first start playing Arena, start by using the sniper pistol combination. You may be asking yourself why. The end goal of these commendations is to get the Triumphant Sea Dog weapon set, which you need to get the Triumphant Sea Dog title, obviously. To get the Triumphant Sea Dog weapons, you need to get 100 kills with each of the Glorious Sea Dog weapons. Now, The pistol and the sniper, in order to unlock the glorious versions of those, you need to get 200 kills with the pistol and 200 kills with the sniper. This means to get the triumphant version of each of these, you need 300 total kills. 200 to unlock the glorious, and then 100 with the glorious weapons themselves to get the triumphant versions. However, with the sword and blunder, you unlock the glorious versions of these not by getting 200 kills, but by reaching a certain level. You get the notorious cutlass at level 45, and the blunderbuss at 50, which means technically you only need 100 kills with each of these weapons once you reach a certain level, instead of 300 total kills. However, with the pistol and the sniper, you need 300 total kills, so it makes a lot of sense to just start working on those right away, and waiting till you're level 45 to start working on the sword, and level 50 to start working on the blunderbuss. Now, some basic advice for actually getting kills in the arena. First of all, if you ever get into a TDM lobby, just work on some sniper and pistol kills, go over TDM with them. It'll help you improve as a player, and you can get the commendations done at the same time, so it's a win-win. If you need to win the game, just go turn in a chest, do what you gotta do, then go TDM. So, if you do get into a TDM lobby, I'd recommend, sniper pistol only, and just working on racking up points that way. And from my experience, the hardest weapon to get these 300 kills for is the pistol, because not a lot of players use it. So just some tips on how to do that. Usually the best way I found to get kills was one sniper shot into the person and then pull out the pistol and shoot it, because that's an instant kill, considering, get hit rigged. 2 sword swipes and then a pistol shot is also a kill. Do keep in mind for these kills, by the way, it only counts as a kill if they don't get revived. If they do get revived, it doesn't count towards your, few hundred kills. And another quick tip for the pistol, remember that the ADS on the glorious pistol especially is really shit, and you don't need to aim down sight to get an accurate shot. Hip firing, the pistol always shoots perfectly straight. The eye of reach is a different story, but the pistol always shoots directly in the center of your screen. So don't even bother aiming down sight usually with the pistol, just hip fire it. The more you do it, the more accurate you'll get with it, and you won't even have to ADS no matter what style pistol you do choose to use. These are my basic tips for getting all the weapon commendations done in the arena, so let's move on to the next set of commendations. So the next set of commendations we have is the clothing commendations, for which there are only 3 that apply. The Captain of Silvered Waters, the Dedicated Sea Dog, and the Professional Sea Dog commendations. The Captain of Silvered Waters means you place top 3 in 100 games. This unlocks the glorious set, and then the other 2 are commendations you get for winning 100 games wearing 5 pieces of clothing, and playing 200 games wearing 5 pieces of clothing. There's not too much to say about these commendations. I mean, they're pretty self-explanatory. When it comes to wearing 5 pieces of glorious clothing, if you want one that you can wear in adventure mode and in the arena without looking too ugly, because the glorious Sea Dog set, let's be honest, kinda looks horrible, I would recommend going with the belt, the boots, the gloves, the hat, and the pants. Again, not an ideal set, but it's one that you can wear in both without looking like a bot, because the jacket and the dress, no matter what you think, they look pretty horrible. And always wearing these clothes just takes away the risk of joining a game without wearing it, so playing a full game without realizing you're not wearing it, and just having to waste a full 15 minutes of your time playing said arena game without getting credit for it, without getting credit for the commendations that you want. Again, not much to say on this, just pick an outfit that you think looks okay, feel free to switch back for adventure mode, and make sure you're wearing at least 5 pieces every time you enter the arena. And with that, let's move on to the next set of commendations. The next set of commendations is the ship set commendations, for which there are 4. You have the Sea Dog Captain, the Sea Dog Sailor, the Sea Dog Cannoneer, and Iron Sea Dog. For the first 2 of these, the Sea Dog Sailor and Sea Dog Captain, it's having 4 pieces of glorious ship set items equipped to your ship for 200 arena games. We'll play 200 and win 100, those are the 2. Now, you do have to be level 50 to actually own all of these yourself, so if you have a friend who's over level 50, try to play with them as much as you can, just so you can be getting credit for it, because you can start working on these commendations if you have a friend who's over 50, because they can just put the ship set on. And if they don't have time to play a lot of arena, or they don't want to, just ask them to come in the game, put the ship set on, then leave, because that does count, and the ship set will remain on. You can obviously wait till you're level 50 before starting to play 200 games, but it is a long grind, so the earlier you can start to work on it, the better. As for the other 2, the Glorious Sea Dog Cannoneer is 2,000 cannon shots landed with the Glorious Sea Dog cannons. Do keep in mind that you can use these cannons in arena or adventure, and it will count towards your 2,000 shots. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. in the grand scheme of things. You'll get it a lot quicker than you probably think. Tips for aiming these cannons would be to shoot a little bit lower than you normally would. These cannons seem to shoot a bit higher than all the other cannons, and it's a bit weird to get used to at first, but you will get used to it. So yeah, just keep shooting, keep practicing. Eventually you'll get the hang of it. So 2,000 cannon shots. The Iron Sea Dog one is a bit of a pain in the ass. It's killed 200 people with cannons in the arena mode. Now, again, like in the strategy, you always want to aim for the cannon deck when you're shooting. If you get good at this and are hitting your shots, then these kills will come a bit faster. The annoying part about these especially is that if that person gets revived, it doesn't count. So if you have someone over on that ship, getting their kills, and you can, make sure that person can make sure they don't get revived while you're killing them with the cannons, that's ideal. But again, just aim cannon deck. A lot of the people you do kill will get revived, so this one might take a bit longer. But if you are, following that tip before, aiming for cannon line, you should be able to get through this somewhat quickly. So again, not too much to say for this section, so let's move right on to the next set of commendations. The next section of commendations we're going to talk about is the chest commendations, for which, again, there are 3. You have the Seeker of Silvered Loot, Sea Dog Seeker, and Treacherous Sea Dog. Now, if you're focused on only getting triumphant stuff on your journey, the only one you need to worry about here is the Sea Dog Seeker commendation, which is digging up 100 chests in adventure mode or arena mode with the glorious Sea Dog shovel, which is almost immediately, actually I think it is immediately unlocked in the equipment shop. You just have to buy it. So for tips for this one, just immediately buy that shovel and just use it until that commendation is done. The other 2 commendations are decent sounding titles. For the Seeker of Silvered Loot commendation, you dig up 100 chests in the arena, and how to get that's pretty self-explanatory. Just try to always be the first one to the chest, which is part of the Sloop Strategy anyways. And for the Treacherous Sea Dog one, if you're having trouble stealing from players and you really want that title, just camp the sell point. It's not that difficult. Just join into a game, camp the sell point, wait there. Eventually they'll come turn it in. They won't be expecting you there probably if you get a lucky merm. And then it's just a quick 1 blunder or a failed 1 blunder, and then you go after them and quickly kill them because they'll be on the back foot, grab that chest, and turn it in. Again, 50 stolen chests isn't too difficult to get. Remember, a stolen chest counts if they dig it first, that counts. So if you just wait by the chest dig site and you hear someone else shoot over and they crack the chest once, it's now a stolen chest if you kill them, dig it up the rest of the way, and take it yourself. So again, these are commendations you'll get on your road to getting all the longer commendations, but those are my tips and tricks for how to get these 3. Just make sure you clip that glorious shovel right away and do what you gotta do if you really want that Treacherous Sea Dog title. And with that, let's move on to the next set of commendations. The next set of commendations we have is 2 weirder ones. I'm gonna call them the lobby commendations. This is a toast to the Sea Dogs and the musical Sea Dogs. For these, you have to be in the lobby before a game starts, and you have to play, for the musical one, a Glorious Sea Dog instrument with 3 other players who are also using Glorious Sea Dog instruments on the stage. You can do this with your own crew if you're on a galleon, so you can have your whole crew do it. And then for the Toast to the Sea Dogs commendation, you need to raise your Glorious Sea Dog tankard with 3 other players also raising their Glorious Sea Dog tankard in the hot tub in the corner of the arena lobby. Again, these 3 players can all be your crewmates on a galleon, so you can have you and 3 others from your galleon crew all raising that toast together. Same with the musical instruments, you and 3 others all playing together. Again, for this one, keep in mind, you all have to be using a Glorious Sea Dog, not just the one getting the commendation. And that while these may seem like silly commendations, they do unlock a lot of the triumphant gear, so they are required if you do want the triumphant Sea Dog title. So just get it done whenever you have the chance along your long journey to completing all of the arena commendations. And with that, let's move on to the final section of commendations for this arena guide. For this last section of commendations, these are just random commendations, and the 2 most important commendations, ironically. You have the Keeper of Silvered Loot, Sailor of Silvered Waters, Master of Silvered Waters, Glorious Sea Dog, then the 2 important ones, or the 2 best ones, I guess, Legendary Sea Dog and Triumphant Sea Dog. And yes, well, I know that Legendary Sea Dog isn't technically a part of the Sea Dog section. I'm going to include it as an arena commendation for obvious reasons. For the first three, Keeper of Silvered Loot, Sailor of Silvered Waters, and Master of Silvered Waters, don't worry about them. You'll get them on the way. These are not ones you need to focus on in any way, and they don't, unlock any triumphant things anyways, so they're just commendations you'll get along the way for racking up silver and winning games and such. For the Legendary Sea Dog one, there's not much to say. Take all the tips and stuff you've learned in this video and your own experience and just win games. 240 wins is a lot. It's a grind, but it's worth it in the end. The weapons you get are pretty sick. The title's cool as well, but not my personal favorite. And for the Glorious and Triumphant Sea Dog titles, if you've got all the commendations and you're wondering, it's probably because you forgot to purchase something stupid. Remember, there's a lot of stuff you need to purchase for these. Check all the minuscule stuff, your ship flags, the equipment, just random stuff, and make sure you go through and buy every single item. Because you need every single item. And remember, you don't get it once you've bought all the items. You actually have to win a game with all those items purchased to get these commendations. And with that, that just about wraps up all of the commendations for the Sea Dogs and one Athena Fortune commendation, because why not? So with all of that, let's move right into the final part of this Sea Dogs Mega Guide. So I am now going to give you what I consider to be the two most important final tips of mastering the arena, and then do a little outro, because why not? So tip number one, get a consistent crew. Getting a consistent crew is essential on galleons and pretty important on sloops. It's gonna make your life way easier. The more you understand your crewmate, the more you get that synergy, the more you work together, the more you're gonna win, the better everything's gonna turn out, and the less frustration you'll have in the arena. And my second most important tip, stop watching videos like this and go out there and actually compete in the arena. You can stand around all day watching guides like this, but if you don't actually go out there and practice at all, you're never going to get better. Guides like this will point you in the right direction. It'll give you tips that you can use, but you have to go out there and actually implement them into your strategy so they become, secondhand, right off of memory. It becomes a part of your arsenal, and you become a lethal ship out there and a winning machine who's going to unlock all of these commendations and 100% the arena mode. So this seems like a good time to wrap up the video. A few quick things for anyone who cares. First of all, thank you for the massive support on my last video. Understand I'm really busy with school, but I have a few weeks off now, so I'm going to try to crack out as many videos as I can and release them every other Friday. So I'll be uploading a video for the foreseeable future every other Friday, starting today, obviously. And with that, thank you very, very, very much for tuning in. If you can drop a like on this video, I'd appreciate it. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me below in the comments. Or you can also join my Discord and ask me there. Maybe I might stream a bit on Twitch too, so you could ask me there, giving you plenty of options for asking me questions, because I want to make sure they're all answered for you guys, as that is the point of this video. And with that, it's been your boy Bandit Banks, and I'll see you out there on the seas.